Good morning, everyone. Cyril here. It's another week of working on the truck, and since the winds have decided to pick back up a little bit today, as you can tell by the flag, not bad, but enough that it makes it difficult to weld. So we're setting back up in the clam. I'm going to be working in here today since there's no wind in here, and my goal today is to build the trays and get them done. Well, build the second tray. So that's what I'm working on today. Okay, we've been working on this for a little bit. Got the end put together to a large degree. 45 tacked. We're just going to let it have a chance to cool for a little bit. Go in, have a snack, and then we'll come back and get back on it. Okay, we've started laying out our plates for our recessed anchors. So we have our holes punched for them, punched, have them lined up the direction they go. We've got the first two made. Debating what I'm going to do from here, if I'm going to do more of them and weld them on, or if I'm going to put those on hold until what I probably should do is do 4 and put them on there. That way I can put those on the truck, and then the trays can go in, and then from there I can see where we're at. Hopefully those parts will come. I think they're saying Friday. This is Sunday. Should have ordered them earlier. I couldn't make up my mind what route I wanted to go. Took me a while. All right. I'll get back to you guys in a bit when I figure out what my next steps are. Good morning, everyone. It's another day of working on the truck. So today we are working on grinding out welds that are not what they should be. So when we were doing our vertical welds in the lattice work of the frame of the bed up in Washington, a lot of these welds were cold, did not get the adhesion they need. So we're in the process of going through, grinding those out, which is probably going to be most of them. And then we're going to go back through and re-weld them. Now that my experience is increased and my welds these days look better, we're going to fix that before we deck it. Okay, looking at the bed of the truck, as we move from the back to the front, we're going back in time. So the stuff at the front of the truck was my earlier welds. Everything back here is later. But we have ground out an awful lot of welds on this that and as we get moving forward, there's a lot of welds ground out. One here and there, as we get up here, there's one here and there that wasn't. As I get into this sheet, it looks like I'm going to be pretty much grinding out every single weld, because they're not up to what I would accept. So yeah, a lot. Taking a break, and then I'm going to come back and grind out another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, another 40 welds, and then we'll go from there. Okay, slow start today. It was a cold day today. It didn't hit 60 until after almost 3 o'clock. So 115 welds ground out and re-welded. I have not got past here coming forward, so that'll be another day. But for now, it's enough to get me where I need to go. I am going to work on getting the plates on the back here, getting them welded down, and go from there, and then start working our way forward so that we can put the trays on soon. Okay, all the welds are finished. These plates are on, tacked in place. So next step will be to get them fully welded in, get the next set up, fabricated tomorrow, get them installed on the truck, and then Wednesday we can look at putting in the trays for the slides, or for the ramps, the slide-in trays for the ramps. Well, I think that's it for tonight. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Another day working on the truck, trying to get ready for putting the trays in for the ramps tomorrow. So we're finally getting the supports underneath the deck in the back section, getting those welded in. Got 2 more here to work on. I also have to get these deck plates installed and welded up on top today, which will bring me up to here, because I won't be able to get into them the way I want underneath once the slide trays are in place. It'll make them really tough. So we're going to get those in today. And in preparation for those, I am marking out and punching the plates for the tie downs that got to go on those. So that's my goal for today. That's my target that I'm working on. And I will keep you informed as I go forward. I'll show you what I got. Okay, those plates that I made are welded from the bottom side onto the next deck panels. So let me flip this over and I'll show you what they look like on top. Okay, here's the top side of these. All my holes are punched so that I know where they got to go. The only one that might change is the center hole based on how that works, which I don't know yet. So right now I'm trying to decide if I want to weld this edge while they're off here on the deck, on the stand, or if I want to do this after it's up on the truck, because I am going to fully weld that edge so that don't get any water intrusion coming into it. Anyway, that's one of them. So next steps are figuring out if I'm welding that more or if I'm putting it on the truck now and going from there. Okay, here is what it looks like sitting on the truck and spaced where it's supposed to be. I think it looks incredible. I am really liking that. I'm probably going to clean some stuff up a little bit because there's a lot of dust on that, and probably tack it, and then look at gapping it and moving over to this side to do the same thing. Everything's looking incredible, just like it's supposed to. I had marked the bottom of the next sheet up, which is supposed to be 1/8 of an inch gap. I don't know if you can see that, but that's pretty close to 1/8 of an inch on that, to where that scribe line is. So this is really close to where it's supposed to be. Certainly closer than it has to be. So I'm liking it. From here, I think I'll just take a break for a minute and think about my next steps. Okay, to combat the wind, we are back in the clam working on the second deck plating. Getting it prepped up. I'm going to weld the tops on the bench on both of them. All I've done on the other one was the bottom. Checked it on the truck, decided to pull it back off and do it and weld that top side on the bench. Before I do that, I'm going to get this one fit up and ready, weld it up complete, and then we'll bring the other one in. We'll swap them out and weld the other. And then we'll see where the wind's at for trying to get them on the truck. A little bit of a bad deal here. This one popped up on me, so I had to grind it out and get a clamp on it to keep it down. I may have to do that with this corner. I'll make sure I put weight on it and get that one done first. This one's also trying to come up on me, the whole back side, so Just got to keep an eye on that stuff. Keep things tight. Well, my corners aren't immaculate. They're okay. They're acceptable. The first one I did was kind of the worst. They got better as I went along. But letting it cool a little bit, and then we'll hit those last couple of spots on it. Get that out of here. We'll get the other one in. Get it welded up. And then we'll look at getting it on the truck after it cools down. Well, the points are getting closer, or these things are getting closer, whatever you want to call them, pockets. So, it needs to cool down a little bit, so we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back to it. Well, it's almost time for welding again. Here's what it's going to look like. Decked out, or at least the back portion decked. We are getting closer to being able to put a Jeep on a truck. I like it. It's coming together. Okay, this side underneath is welded, and I only have one thing to say about it, and that is, wow, that was not fun. That was a major pain in the rear. I am not looking forward to doing the other side. But this side's welded underneath so the tray can go in on this side. And from there, I'm going to take a break because that whooped me. First slide tray is starting to get set in position. This is what it's going to look like. I'm liking it. Okay, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but the first slide tray is in here. This is where they're going to hang. They have a slight uphill angle, so any moisture, dirt all comes to the back where it can be cleaned out. And the trays stay at the back. The back end here is welded in place, and the front end is clamped. That one came out superb. Still some work on it. It's not done yet. I've got this deck panel clamped. I have not welded anything with it tonight. I don't think I'm going to. The winds on this side of the truck are just messing with me too much. But we are getting there. We're making progress. Every day we get a little bit closer. So, and my vertical welds are improving dramatically, and my overhead's not horrible anymore. So, we'll get there. This will get double welded when I get to that point. I'm not there yet. I need to weld this full weld, see if that'll pull the bow out of this that's in it. It's got just a slight bow. That should pull that out, lay this flat. Same thing on this side when I weld it up. So, don't know if I'm going to do an inside weld here or not. It's one of those things I'll have to think about it. At least on the back end. Alright, well, I think I'm going to take a break, call it a night, go get mail before they close. I've got 3 sets of stuff in. I still got to put those bars in tomorrow. Lots to do still. And then I think I may be able to figure out my cross member up here enough to put it in and decide exactly what I'm doing for this next sheet so that I can cut it and get it where I want it. And then we'll go from there. Hey, neighbors are back. Good morning, everyone. Another day of working on the truck. Today we are working on fit and finish for this tray. getting it in exactly where and how we want it, and taking all the little puckers out where there's a gap. So we're using some flat bar just to space it and get it tight where we want it. So far everything's looking really good. Putting my full weld along this line has pulled the slight bow out of that enough that this will fit in just the way we need it to. I'm sure the same thing will happen on this side when I get to it after this side cools enough that I can lay on it. And then we'll work our weld all the way down. And then we'll look at welding that all up. Okay, working on our welds, making it clean, getting it where we need it. This side's looking good, it's closing up like we want it to. We've got tacks across the top. Right now we're just waiting on this to cool and see how much it comes down, but it looks like it's coming down nearly all the way like we want it to. That makes me very happy. And then we'll close that side up. And then we'll turn our attention to this plate over here and getting the underside of this welded. Maybe getting somebody to stand on it to hold it down. Stand on the center of it. I'll have to think about what I'm doing for that. I might be able to put a bar across here with something under it so that it pulls the center down. That should be doable. Yeah, we'll look at it when we're done with this. One thing at a time. The ramps fit. They do go in. I can carry them. They fit nicely. I am very happy with that. When they are up, there's not a lot of clearance up at that end, but I don't need much. And that's plenty for me. And they're here, so they do fit. All right, lots of welding to do on it, but not today, because I'm getting low on welding gas again. And I've still got this whole plate to get welded on the underside, which will take a fair amount of gas. That'll probably pretty well wipe out what I've got. Tomorrow is Friday, I hope. Suppose look at my phone. Yes, today is Thursday. So tomorrow is Friday. I think I'll go to Havasu City tomorrow, get more welding gas, and then we'll get hard on this. I am very happy with how this is looking. I'll have to make me a cut list, because I think I know what I'm going to do now for that next thing and for the back of the tank and everything. So I can work that out, get it ready, and then we can start putting in that center section so that more things to work on, less time to do it. That's funny. Maybe I'll take all that to Texas with me and do that in Texas. But I know how I'm going to do that storage and what I'm going to do there, so I'm happy with that. Okay, second tray is in place. The back end is welded. Front end is welded. We can put our ramp in it if need be. I've got clamps on it on the front for right now. This has all got to get tacked up still. This has got to get welded here to pull it down some. Take that arch out of it like we did on the other side. And then that'll get tacked up, and then we'll be ready for the ramp. But we have our lights back, so we're looking pretty good. I'm very happy with how the truck's coming out. Got to dump tanks tonight, and then I've got to figure figure out my cut sheet for tomorrow, going up to Havasu City to get more welding gas and some more steel tomorrow, so that I can start moving forward on some of the next parts. Like the water tank and the storage behind it. So we'll get there. With that, I think I'm calling it a night. Okay, I've been working all day. I've not filmed anything, so it's time to get everybody caught up. This is my next deck plate that I'm working on. I've got it cut out. I figured out what I needed for the water tank. I've got my tie downs welded from the bottom side. I haven't welded the tops yet. I just got this flipped over a little bit ago. Got the notch cut out of it. Have some extra support on it to make sure it doesn't bend on me when we put it on the truck. Better safe than sorry. I have added a cross beam now that'll tie into that plate, and I furred out the center section so that the walls will go straight down. And now that I've put those plates in and cut them down, we're going to make them wider so that they come out further. But that's easy. So they'll end up a lot cleaner when it's all done. Hoping tomorrow to be able to finish getting that prepped, the lattice work, and find some bodies that can help me lift that and put it on the truck tomorrow. And then I've got some welds to clean up and figure out what size pieces I need and what I'm going to do. I do have scrap down here that I can mark and cut if I need to. Do whatever I need to for that. I've also got the piece from one of them that I cut off, but I think it's going to be too wide. But it's probably too narrow to trim any narrower, so I'll probably start with new pieces. We'll figure that out tomorrow. For tonight, I think we're going to wrap it up and call it a night. And put everything away and then have some hamburgers for dinner. So, progress. Okay, I guess since this video is about the trays, I don't need to let you know about the decking that I'm doing going forward. So we are almost done with the trays. I got a little bit more welding to do on them here. On each side, close them up. I put drain holes in this morning because it rained and they filled with water. So, for the purposes of this video, the trays are in. There's still work to do on them. I got more welding and I got sanding to clean them up. But for the purposes of this week's video, the trays are done. The ramps can go in. I could travel with them the way they are right now. So, from Quartzsite, I'm going to wrap it up, and we'll see you next week working on the upper portions of the deck, and maybe the water tank if I get it. If I don't, it'll be another one. Alright, so with that, we are out. Everybody have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next week.